Hi guys, I'm Becky, my channel's Spot Beck Sews. Welcome back if you're a subscriber and welcome if you're new. Today's vlog is all about the autumn trends and autumn plans. Now I'm not going to go into too much detail of the trends that are out there at the moment, but I do want to touch on them because they always provide some sort of inspiration when I'm looking at plans. And I tend to like making a few fixed plans for the month, just to make sure that I uphold a few of them and get my ideas down on paper. But I am a bit like a magpie and I do like shiny. And if something new comes along and takes my attention away, then there's possibilities that I will veer off. But hopefully for some of these plans that I've come up with, you will be pleased to see them, as there are some new patterns on my radar. Now, for those of you that know me and have been following me for a little while, you'll know that I have lost weight over the last 12 months, which means that I pretty much need an entire new wardrobe for autumn. So there will be some patterns that I revisit this autumn that are good old tried and trues. But today's focus is mainly on new patterns that I want to bring in and a couple of firm old ones that I really need to have back in my wardrobe. To talk about some of the trends that are about, just to give you an idea, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this is obviously where some of my inspirations come from what I've seen on the high street, but also where I'm not going to go in other areas as well. So for example, the colour that is everywhere this year, this autumn, brown is really in. The browns in all the shades is the new black. Also, I keep hearing, and so I'm seeing in all of the high street shops at the moment. However, brown is not a colour that I particularly enjoy wearing, and it's certainly not a fabric I'm drawn to when it comes to buying. That's not to say that I wouldn't wear brown. I actually very much suit one of those bitter chocolate browns, but it's just not one I reach for. So it is a trend and it is everywhere, but probably not something, even in the fabrics that I've chosen, is going to be incorporated in my wardrobe. Alongside brown, I've had a quick look in what prints seem to be trending. I am very pleased to say that the new animal print is cow print. So cow print has obviously been around for a little while. I think this all bleeds into the whole Western theme, denim print, denim style, double denim kind of thing that's been going on. Cow print is very much associated, I think, with that Western theme. That's not going anywhere. That's still very big. There is some cow print in my fabric choices today that I'm going to share with you on things that I want to use and make up, as well as Dalmatian print. Dalmatian print seems to be coming in, and I think this links in nicely with the fur trend that seems to be going on, and I'm talking lots of faux fur. We've got faux fur bags, faux fur garments, faux fur shoes even. I'm not so sure that I'll be getting on board with the faux fur trend, but again, it's another trend out there, and that is also bringing in the Dalmatian print trend as well. So that's another one that I'm seeing. From a shapes and kind of styles kind of perspective, we're seeing a lot of the 80s structure, so the kind of wide shoulders, shoulder pads coming in, nipped at the waist. Now I do like a nipped in waist, and I've drawn inspiration from that in my choices, but I'm not sure I'm ready to go full out 80s. Again, the peplum has come back. Now I was a big fan of the peplum. I think it made its rounds again in the noughties at some point, and it's just a trend that I love. It's very flattering on the figure. For us mums out there that struggle with that mum tum side, it nicely skims over it but gives us that nipped in waist. There's lots of different ways to do peplums. I do have a pattern in my portfolio for my autumn plans that I'm going to be sharing that bleed into that trend as well. Other than that, I think that's it from what I'm seeing on the trends that have kind of inspired or got me thinking about some of the things that I'm going to be making up. So let's get into the plans, because we've got quite a few. So the first one I want to talk about is the dress patterns that I have chosen. Now I do love a good dress, particularly in the winter. I love shoving on a pair of thick thermal tights and some chunky boots or knee-high boots. So I like to look for dresses, skirts, etc. that suit being able to dress it up in that way or style it in that way. So the first dress that I've got to share with you is the Harvest Moon dress, which is from Gold Skye Patterns. Now I fell onto this pattern company. I hadn't actually heard from them before, but when I started looking on Instagram at their patterns for inspiration, I noticed a fair few of my fellow sewers did follow them, but I still haven't seen any patterns made. Now the pattern that made me go to their page is in these plans. It's not this one, but I then stumbled across this. So the Harvest Moon Gold Skye Patterns dress is a raglan sleeve button down dress with an optional waist string. It comes into bust size of 34 up to 55 inch and a hip of 53 to 73. Now that's because it's quite a flowy dress. The hip is going to be absolutely fine, but I think it's okay for size inclusivity as pattern comes. They recommend that the fabrics that you can make this in is a needle cord, a cotton lawn, a tencel, a viscose twill, and one of the newest fabrics that we've had in recently at the Fabric Obsession that would work really well for this is the viscose cotton twill as well. So this is a mini length or a midi length. Now one of the trends that I think that is very much a out and out trend this year is going for that kind of knee length or above the knee look, and I really like that. Maxi and midi have been in over the last few years, but I think for my version of this dress I am actually going to choose a midi length style. I think that is what I would like because of the fabric choice that I am making to make this up in. Now I really want to make this in a needle cord. I have been looking at different fabrics in my stash for inspiration, and the needle cords that we've currently got in our Fabric Obsession shop, for those of you that don't know, is the shop that Adele from Sofa Serenity and myself co-own and run. It's an online shop and I will leave it linked below. There is a Little Johnny fabric in at the moment, and it's the Townhouse. I'll pop in a picture here so you know which one I'm talking about. And I just think this would make the cutest little dress, but in midi length form. Now this fabric is very narrow. I think it's a 112 width, so it is very narrow. And the recommendations for this fabric are between 2.6 for the mini and 3.2 meters. So I think what I might go, and that's on a 145 width, I might go for the mini actually, just to make sure that I'm not stealing too much fabric from our shop. But I really love this Little Johnny print. The townhouses are so cute, and I feel like it's really autumnal, but it still gives me a feature wow bang moment from the colours that are incorporated into this, because I very much suit those brighter colours. And then I can see this with my chunky chocolate boots, so bringing in that trend that I currently have with my thick tights on, this would work really nicely. Another fabric I have in my stash that I have to hand that I'm also considering making this up in is this here. This has been around for a very long time. I think I got this from a D-Stash account, or even Becky's Sewing Studio it might have been actually, but it's a thick cotton, check cotton, and checks are very on trend. I know I didn't really talk about checks, and this would be a perfect autumnal weight dress, and it would be nice and warm. It's got a really nice structure to it, and you've got all these gorgeous pastel colours, but then you have this black check that runs through, and I do genuinely think this would make a really nice midi version. Now I have 3 meters of this fabric, so that would work really nicely. The only thing I know that I'll need to be careful of with this, with it being a button down, is I will have to think about my checks, because if you are making a bodice that has a button down and I've got checks off balance, it won't work. So that might take a little bit of thought for it. So that's the first plan that I have in the dresses. The second dress one won't be as a surprise to any of you that have followed me for a little while, but I love the Friday Pattern Company Davenport dress. Now this plays into several of the trends. The ruffle, for example, that seems to be everywhere. I'm not a fan of ruffles, and actually I do alter this pattern slightly for my own liking. If you go brown ruffle and you have it at the normal length of knee length, you're hitting all the trends in one. But this dress is a fabulous dress to hit those trends with. It's perfect for autumn because you've got a long sleeve to it. You can have a ruffle on the end of it as well. I actually omit that and just have it down to an elasticated. I also omit the ruffle off the shoulder because I'm not a ruffle fan, and I extend the ruffle on the bottom that puts it just above the knee out to be a maxi length. I'm sorry guys, but I do that for all of my Friday Pattern Company Davenport dresses. Now I have cut this out. You'll have to forgive me because I'm just trying to find the fabric so I can show you. So I have cut this out. This is the front bodice, and it's in this gorgeous fabric Godmother Eco Vero fabric. Now this is the floral design that was everywhere. I've played with the stripes on this, so across the top I have gone for the stripe across the top, but then the rest of it they are going down. This has that black background to it, which I think leads perfectly into this weather, and it's quite a subtle print, but I still draw from the bright colours that I love, and I could put a bit of red or pink lippy on and feel like I'm rocking this dress. But like I said, if you want to do this and bleed into some of those trends that are out there, you absolutely could. This dress would hit the nail on the head with that one. So the Friday Pattern Company Davenport dress, as said by the Pattern Company, just to read it out to you. The Davenport dress is the perfect throw on and go to dress. Whether you're shopping for a local farmer's market or hanging out around the house, this ruffly dress will have you feeling cute and comfortable. It features full sleeve with an elasticated ruffle hem, as well as on the shoulder flutter detail. The hem hits just above the knees and the front neckline is gathered with elastic. This features a drawstring waist, so again, like the previous dress, it can pull you in or it can be a little bit gathered. Davenport features roomy pockets that are also perfect for stowing away all of your treasures. This pattern is perfect for all levels. Suitable for lightweight woven fabrics, lawns, viscose twill, double gauze or viscose twills. Now, I must admit, this pattern I have made probably the most in a viscose because I prefer the drapiness of a viscose. This will work really well for a viscose twill because you've got that twill weave, tends to be slightly thicker. Your viscose poplins, if you're going to go for any kind of fabric with it, I think would work really well. Your lawns are great, but just remember your lawns will have structure, so if you want those ruffles to really stand out and then having that drawstring waist pull you in, it just gives that slightly more structured look. But if that's what you're going for and that's what you want, then go with the lightweight lawns. That will work really well. This dress is great for layering too, chucking things on. The pattern sizing is really inclusive. They go from an extra small right up to a 7XL, which is a 32-inch bust, right up to a 62-inch bust. They're the only measurements that are really important because the rest of it pulls in. So like the previous dress, you've got plenty of room in the hips and the bust is the most important measurement for you. So that is the second dress in my plans. Moving on to the third dress. Now the third dress is a new pattern by Style Arc. It's the Rowie knit dress. Now the Rowie knit dress is a top and a dress, and it features some of the things that I'm seeing quite heavily featured in both the sewing community and out on the marketplace, and that is cinching and ruching or tucking to give the appearance of some sort of cinching on your body. This is very flattering because of the tucks in the way that it drapes over your stomach area. I will pop a picture of the pattern in so you can obviously see what I'm talking about, but it has a funnel neck, a shaped body with sleeves or sleeveless, so perfect depending on how you want to wear it. There is a top undress option. It's the dress that I'm most interested in. It has shoulder tucks, and then it has mid body side seam gathers, which gives that kind of cinched appearance, and you can make this in a jersey, spandex or slinky knit. Now I would probably go for some of the more structured weight knits, purely because if you're going for the really slinky knits, it might have a tendency to pull it down if the fabric's too heavy. But something like a Ponte Roma would work particularly well for this. Your cotton jerseys would definitely work well. Maybe more lean towards the two-way stretch fabrics than the four-way stretch fabrics. Four-way stretch fabrics would have a tendency to weigh down. But this looks like a super simple and very quick and easy dress to make up, and I love the idea of this. Now I've actually got a couple of French terries in our Fabric Obsession shop at the moment that I think would be perfect for this because it's 95% cotton, 5% elastane, and I think it would hold all of those really well. Plus the light loop back French terries would work really well for this from a heat point of view. So this fabric that I'm wearing right now, I'm wearing the Billy jumper by Tilly and the Buttons. This would work really well. This is a lightweight French terry. This is one of our Fabric Obsession fabrics. I will leave the link down below to it. But there is also another one that we have in, and we managed to scoop back up the very last pieces of stock that was out there. We had it in before, it sold out very quickly, but I just think this would make a gorgeous Rowie knit dress. So I've snuck myself off a piece of this gorgeous fabric to make, and I just think all the tucks and the way that it nips in would be perfect, and it is just the right level of stretch that you need for getting that to do a wonderful job of really showcasing those gathers and tucks. So yeah, that is my choice. Very bright, very out there, but I'd go for long sleeve, and it would also be the perfect dress to wear at work. I could still see this dress with my I've got some really funky cowboy boots for playing into that Western trend, but they're in like a metallic pinky colour, but they'd go really well with some of the colours that are in this, and I think that would look quite nice with a chunky pair of tights on, and that would work perfectly. We do have plenty of French terries in at the moment, and there's a number of them that I could potentially go for. I have quite a few knits in my stash as well that would work. I mean, I've got one here in this poly brushed fabric that I got from Sewing Emmy's D stash. Now this would also work really well for this dress. I mean, how fabulous is this? Look at that, it's just stunning. But I would probably have to make this sleeveless because it's got the polyester in it. I would just have a tendency to sweat if it was something that I wore with sleeves, because although I'm quite a cold person in poly, I mean, maybe I should just wear poly all the time because then I feel really hot and sweaty. But yes, anyway, digressing there. So I do think the Rowie knit dress by Style Arc is a perfect autumnal dress that you could mix up, have as layering, and this also would work as a multi-seasonal dress as well, depending on the fabric that you made it in and whether you have sleeves or not. So let's talk about tops patterns. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Ames blouse. Now this is actually a free pattern at the moment from Seamwork. Now this is a loose fitting blouse and it has this gorgeous yoke at the front. But let me tell you what they say about the pattern itself. A romantic button-up sewing pattern. If you want to add some simple drama to your wardrobe, sew this blouse. Ames is a romantic oversized blouse with raglan style sleeves, and the front and back have gathers into a curved lined yoke. It features a band collar and it has an elasticated sleeve and hem. And it has elastic at the sleeve hem, and it buttons down the front. The Ames blouse looks polished, tucked into jeans, skirts, or your favourite pair of slacks. While you can wear this shirt untucked, it really highlights the silhouette by tucking it in to show off all of those gathers. Best to be made in a lightweight woven fabric such as cotton lawn, cotton gauze, voile, or chambray, Swiss dot, rayon chalet, linen, rayon crepe, and silk. So it gives you a range of fabrics there that you can use for this particular one. Now I love the Ames blouse. I've been looking at it for a long time. I would be somebody who definitely would tuck this in, and there's a skirt that I'm going to talk about later on, and I feel that this pattern would work quite well to go with that skirt. Now I actually have just a plain cotton lawn in my stash. I don't buy very often plain fabrics, but I do have a plain black that I think I purchased from Rainbow Fabrics a little while ago. It's buried deep in my stash, but I think that would work quite well for this, and then it would blend into whatever I want to do with the skirts or the bottoms, whether I'm going for a funky bottom or a funky skirt with a bit of pattern to it. And when I show you my plans for the skirts, you'll understand where I'm coming from and how this all kind of pulls together, because I can just see this blouse paired with a skirt, paired with a pair of chunky tights, a nice big oversized cardigan on, some high knee boots, slouchy in that chocolate colour, again bringing in some form of trending there. I just think this would work really well, and what better than the pattern's actually free. So I will leave the link down below. The bust is at a 30 up to a 67 inch, hip of 32 up to a 70 inch, so it's a really size inclusive pattern as well, and it's free, so go ahead and check that one out. Now, earlier I mentioned that when I was looking at Gold Skye patterns, there was a pattern that drew me in. Now, this one was the pattern that drew me in, and we are pulling from that slight peplum type ruffle that is trending at the moment. So from Gold Skye patterns, it's the Lennon blouse. Now the Lennon blouse is a romantic easygoing top. It features soft gathers along the yokes and at the waist, designed with dramatic raglan sleeves. There is a raglan theme in all of my patterns this time around, I am aware of that. A delicate button placket and a flattering drawstring waist that finishes off with a subtle peplum ruffle. Light and airy, it blends vintage with charm for everyday comfort. Now, it was the comfort area that really pulled me into this blouse, but also the fact that I do like that drawstring, that little ruffle, and this is a little bit more of an involved make. So whereas all the things that I've shared with you so far are fairly beginner friendly or advanced beginner, I would say that the Lennon blouse probably sits at an intermediate level. This pattern is designed for lightweight to medium fabric, so the suggestions that come from them is a batiste or cotton block print. I think a cotton block print would work really well for this actually. A chambray, a linen cotton blend, a cotton twill, lightweight, or a linen or a rayon silk would work really well. Now, I don't actually currently have anything for this particular pattern in mind. We have a few new fabrics coming into stock which I can't share with you over the next few weeks, and I do think that there is a good weight of fabric in amongst that lot, so just keep an eye on my channel, because I will share that one with you when that comes along, when I do my pattern review on this. But I really love the look of this blouse. It's something that I haven't made, and it would be that little bit more of an involved make, which is what's tempting me to go for it. So that is firmly in my patterns. Now, the reason why I have gone for blouses, or 2 blouses in my portfolio, is I will make jumpers and sweaters. They're like my magpie go-to easy quick fixes, especially with some of the French terries that we're getting in for the fabric obsession at the moment. I will be making bits up, but I really wanted some practical things that I need in my wardrobe, especially for work, and the amount of things that I do in my job, my day job, is by going into schools and giving talks. These kind of smart outfits look great, and there's something that I have to think about. So I do have another blouse that is one that many of you will know that I have made time and time again, and I have a fabric that I want to match with that, and that is the Tilly and the Buttons Marnie blouse. I currently don't have one in rotation that fits me, and I need another one in my life, and going down to the sizing that actually works on me. So again, the Marnie blouse does work with the trends of the ruffles. There are ruffles on this blouse on the sleeves, but I don't particularly like a ruffle. There is the option of the ruffle collar. That is one thing I do like, I must admit. And I have a gorgeous cow print that I really want to make this in, and I think this will just pair with one of the skirts that I want to make later. Lovely. So this is the cow print. This is called Mood Viscose. I love this. This is one that we have in at the Fabric Obsession at the moment, and I will link it down below. There was a bit of a bum fight with Adele to get the hold of this fabric on which one of us was going to take it and make it up. We don't have a huge amount of this in stock, so if you do want some, I suggest you head over and check it out ASAP. But just look at this drape, this sheen on it is beautiful, and this would be the perfect Marnie blouse. And again, that blouse I would wear, and I would wear it tucked into a nice pair of trousers, or like I said, one of the skirt patterns that I have coming. And this would work both for a meal out in the evenings, but also for the work-based kind of style things. And I feel like I'm going bang on trend with that cow print. So that is another blouse. Again, size inclusivity from Tilly and the Buttons. She goes right up to a size 32. No, not 32. She's got her size 15 or 16. Her sizing's very different to most normal sizes. She doesn't do the XL, medium, large kind of thing. She does the size 1, I think, right up to a 15, and they are really size inclusive. I haven't noted down the measurements on this, sorry, so I'm not sharing them with you, but yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. I would recommend sizing down in this blouse no matter what size you come in at, because it is a very roomy blouse. My body measurements will put me in a size 4 for this particular one, but I will probably make a 2 across the shoulders and grade out to a 3 because of the oversizedness, and I have to do that with all Tilly patterns on the shoulders as well. The last top I want to talk to you about is definitely more of a casual top, or again, you could dress this up, but it's another one I haven't made, but it would be one that we make in the stretchy fabrics. So the Hazelwood top by Tessuti Patterns. Now, I've had this in my stash for a long time, but I haven't actually yet made it. I was inspired to purchase it straight after I saw a make that Ruan, who is the Yorkshire Sew Girl here on YouTube, made a little while ago. That woman does like to influence. She made it in a beautiful fabric, and I loved some of the finishings on it because it's got like a facing finish. So the top is described as a A-line style with a relaxed funnel neck collar, funnel neck collar, full length set-in sleeves and a wide hem with sleeve facings. The pattern includes 2 lengths, a shorter version A and a longer version B. This stylish top is great autumn winter wardrobe staple and a quick sewing project. Sizes XXS to an XL. So it's not the most size inclusive pattern. That is a 32-inch bust up to a 42-inch bust and a 36-inch waist up to a 46-inch 36 inch hip up to a 46 inch hip. Only takes about 1.9 meters of fabric, which I think is quite nice, but it's not the most size inclusive pattern. And then it kind of like swings out at the bottom. Now I would probably wear this tucked in, but if I was wearing it with a pair of jeans, I would have it let out. And I just think the shape is very flattering and it's quite stylish, and depending on the knits that you want to make this in, it would work. I think this would be really good in a ponte. I currently haven't got a fabric in my stash that I want to use, so this is one that I'll be keeping an eye out on the new fabrics we've got coming into the shop, or the new fabrics that we're seeing released, and go for one of those. So that is the Hazelwood Tessuti top. Then looking at a few more jumpers, because I do like a French Terrier sweatshirting fabric, I found the Apollo jumper by Bella Loves. Now I really like this. I don't know why I haven't made this before, but the Apollo is a comfy sweatshirt jumper designed to be made in heavyweight knit with a modern oversized casual fit. Apollo is the perfect pair for your favorite jeans or joggers. It features drop shoulders, a high neck and a bracelet sleeve length with tapered cuffs. It's suitable for working with fabrics with low percentage of stretch. So French Terries and Ponte Romas have more drape, and the collar will have more of a slouchy look if you wanted to go for them. But this only takes 1.6 meters of fabric and has a 31 inch bust up to a 44 inch bust. Again, it's not the most size inclusive. 34 inch hip up to a 46 inch hip, not the most size inclusive. But I really like the look of this, and I wanted to include it because I think it's something that I want to purchase. Now moving on to cardigans. Cardigans are a big thing for me. I love a good layer, and I was having a good look around and I found a pattern by Styla Patterns. Now again, this is a pattern company I have not used. This is the Hudson cardigan. Very size inclusive, size 0 to 32. It's basically a cardigan or like a duster style. It's designed for knit fabrics. It has drop shoulders, a neckband, and it has options for long sleeves or bishop sleeves with the cuff, and then optional pockets. Now for me, it is something I want to make in the bishop sleeves. I love a bishop sleeve. I think it's a really nice trendy way to finish a cardigan off. It looks beautiful, and yeah, in some fabrics it's just perfect. The pattern that will take about 2.5 meters of fabric. It suggests lightweight to medium knits, including French terry, sweater fabric, knit and cotton jersey. Now I have a fabric in my stash, which I'm just going to grab because I didn't get it out, that I picked up from Abercarn Fabrics quite a while ago, and it is this gorgeous fabric here. It's a jacquard knit fabric, and this has like a border hem print at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, and I love it, and I just think this would look amazing in that duster style cardigan. This is quite lightweight, but it is just absolutely beautiful, and as a layering piece this would work really well. And earlier I talked about that Ames blouse in that black cotton lawn, because then I could dress it and dress it well. And you'll see another fabric that I've got picked for skirt, and I think this would just work really nicely over the top with those bishop sleeves. It would just be beautiful. So that is one of the fabrics that I've got. But I do have, again, French terries. We have lots in the fabric obsession at the moment, and I think this would be a really good make as well when I'm looking for inspiration from those fabrics that come in and I want to make something up. I think I could make myself a nice duster version with the bishop sleeves from that too. So that is the Hudson cardigan by Styla Patterns. I will link everything down below so you have it if you need it. So let's talk about trousers. Obviously we need trousers in our lives, and I don't really have many that fit at the moment. So again, a pattern that won't come as a surprise, because we both know, or we all know, whoever's watching me, I say both because I'm talking to you one-on-one there, but everybody that's watching this vlog, if you have been watching me for a while, you'll know I'm a huge Tilly and the Buttons fan, and I had to sneak these ones in there as well. So I have a pair of these already, but they're a little bit big and I have lost a bit of weight since making them. I really want to make the Tilly and the Buttons Thea trousers again. I have two fabric choices for this one. Well, actually, I have 3 fabric choices for this one. There's no harm. It's autumn. These will last me into winter as well. So I may well make more than 1 pair of these. But these are a wide leg trousers. They've got a multiple pocket variation. So you can do these from beginner right up to advanced beginner with that welt pocket. And if you're going to start with a zip fly pair of trousers, this pattern's worth doing because Tilly also has like a little tutorial for how to fit that zip fly, which just makes the whole process of making these a little bit easier. Show the world you mean business by rocking your me-made Thea trousers with multiple pocket options and 2 finished lengths to choose from. You'll want to wear them day in and day out. Our step-by-step photo instructions guide will help you through making them with a free video tutorial on sewing welt pockets as well. This pattern features wide leg trousers with a full length or cropped hemline, high-waisted shaped or curved waistband, high-waisted shaped with a curved waistband and back darts. Sorry, that was a bit of a mouthful to get out. A zip fly and button fastening, and with my new machine it will do that button fastening and I won't need to do it manually anymore. A choice of the welt pockets, curved back pockets at the back. Now, I've not done the welt option. I don't know whether I will tackle the welt option. It says here the skill level on this is improvers, so definitely more than an advanced beginner, but I would recommend this. If you are somebody that's willing to give a pair of trousers a go with the help and resources out there, if you are a beginner or an advanced beginner, as long as you've been sewing, you've made a few garments up, it's worth trying because there's enough help and Tilly's patterns are so good from an instruction point of view. And this goes in her sizes 1 to 15, which for hips, just so you guys are aware, I did write this one down, 33-inch hip up to a 61-inch hip, which I suppose are the measurements that are key here. It says it's suitable for medium weight woven fabrics such as linen, twill, denim, cowjoy, triple crepe, wool suiting, linen fabric for pockets, light to medium weight cotton, viscose or rayon for pockets, or Cupro, and you need probably about 3 meters of fabric for the maximum size range. So I have a couple of choices for this. The first choice I have, because let's face it, we all want to rock that cow print trousers. How amazing would that be? This is a cow canvas print that I got from Rainbow Fabrics, and I just think this would be amazing. I can't remember whether I only got 2 meters or not. If I did, these aren't going to be an option, so I need to measure that out. But we do have a cow print cotton twill with a brown colouring in the Fabric Obsession at the moment that I think would work really well as well. If it doesn't all sell out and I manage to grab some of that, that would also work for this pattern beautifully. The other fabric that I have for this, which I picked up originally to make my first pair of these and never did, they ventured into one of my stash boxes and I finally pulled them out this morning when we had the room out there that has lots of stash boxes in, all pulled out to take some bits to the tip. This is a fabric that I got from Higgs & Higgs. It is a red denim fabric and it's got a tiny bit of stretch in it, which means that it would be perfect for resizing, just to get that right. But I love this, and who doesn't want a pair of red trousers in their wardrobe? And because it's plain, I think this would give me an option to pair this with my cow Marnie blouse. I mean, Tilly Thea's a Marnie blouse in this, it would just be a fabulous look. The other fabric that I have, which is a really funky fabric, it's the same fabric that I made my last ones in. It's a brushed twill. There's a beautiful picture of Princess Kate wearing a skirt made out of this because it's a Banana Republic deadstock, and this is just gorgeous. I think these would make a fab pair of Theas as well. Very retro, slightly 70s. I know 80s is the big thing this year, but slightly 70s. I love it. And again, paired with that black cotton Ames blouse would work perfectly. And I think I'd have enough of this fabric left to be able to make one of the skirts that I'm going to talk about in a minute, which is even better. Next on my trousers list. Now, we all love a comfy set of leggings, don't we? So the Freya trousers by Tammy Handmade, I bought this pattern again when they came out, but I've not made them. The Freya trousers are a flare Trousers. It's done in a stretch fabric. The sewing pattern is comfortable and quick to sew. They're high-waisted with a simple elasticated finish and a stylish leg for effortless, sophisticated cut that hugs your body and allows for easy movement with a wider hem. Embrace the vintage-inspired look of a retro pair of statement trousers. With clear, beginner-friendly instructions, you'll breeze through these tricky steps with sewing with stretch fabric. Attaching elastic and achieving a professional finish, this size-inclusive sewing pattern comes in 14 different sizes and will be perfect for your next make. You can use heavyweight stretch fabrics such as jersey, rib knit, sweater knit, ponte roma. Just make sure the fabric has at least 5% elastane in. I think cotton jersey will be probably my fabric of choice. I have in my bag of goodies up here some just plain grey elastic that I'm going to make these for my daughter in, because these are her go-to. They're like leggings, but you can wear them with flares, so they feel less legging-y like. I hope that makes sense. That wasn't really worded great. So I'm going to have a practice run with her, and then I'm probably going to buy myself some plain black cotton jersey. And I may be adventurous and go for a little bit of a patterned set as well. But at the moment, the black is what I'm going for, because these will be a basic everyday pair of trousers that I can wear around the house, but if I need to go out, I can go out in. So they are the Tammy Handmade Freya trousers. Let me know if you've made them down below. Skirt wise. Now, because above the knee is trending at the moment, I was having a look of some different skirts that I could potentially make. And Tammy Handmade, again, featuring quite heavily. I do love Tammy as much as I love Tilly, to be fair. I've made quite a few of Tammy's patterns now, and I can't believe I haven't made this one, but I really want to make her Simi Skirt. Now, the Simi Skirt is perfect for beginners. It does have buttonholes in it, I'm not going to lie, but outside of that, it's a simple A-line skirt. I'm going to read out what she says for the pattern description. The Simi Skirt is a classic mini skirt sewing pattern that you'll keep reaching for in your wardrobe. The A-line skirt features back waist darts, patch pockets, and a chic button front, easy closure. It's perfect for beginners or intermediate sewers looking for a satisfying sew that you can get lots of wear out of. With clear, beginner-friendly instructions, you'll breeze through the tricky steps of the sewing skirt, facing button stand, and achieving a professional finish. This size-inclusive sewing pattern comes in 14 different sizes and will be your perfect next make. Now, it recommends using things like denim, cotton, linen, cowjoy, needle cord, canvas, or wool. It basically says heavyweight patterns. So I have a couple of fabrics that I want to use. The first one is a fiber mood denim that we stock in the Fabric Obsession. It is this gorgeous fabric here. I absolutely love this. It's black and it features green. I think this would look great paired with any kind of top that you could pull from these, so that Ames blouse would work perfectly. Also, I have a green Samara top that would go really nicely. A white blouse or a white sort of Tilly and the Buttons Agnes style basic would be perfect, and it'd give me an option to use some of my Jazz and Wow buttons. For those of you that follow me, you'll know that I run alongside the fabric shop that I co-run. I also have my own handmade resin buttons and jewellery shop, which again I'll leave a link down below, but it'd be a perfect opportunity for me to use some of them. So it recommends using 20mm buttons on this, but I think you could use a range of sizes. You would just adjust how you space them accordingly. This could be lengthened, so if it's too short for you, you can definitely lengthen it. I'll leave the link for this fabric down below as well, because that fabric is stunning. The other two fabrics that I have considered for this, like I said, I'm hoping to have a little bit left over of this, because I think this would be perfect, and this is a brush cotton twill. This was a dead stock from Rainbow Fabrics. I can't remember if I said that. And then the final fabric that I've got, which I actually took off of the swaps table. Now I'm hoping this would be okay. It's like a blue kind of suede fabric. So it's got a bit of structure, but it's not as heavyweight as the others. But this isn't a colour I can wear close to my face. It's just not one. It's too light for me, but I do really like this blue. And there was about 1 metre of this on the swaps table, and you can get this pattern out of 1 metre. So I think this would work really nicely. So I've rescued it because I can wear it as a plain skirt with some of my more patterned blouses and tops. I think that this would also work quite nicely with this cow print blouse as well. I just think these two would look really nice, because you could tie the black from this into some black tights, and then chuck on my black boots as well. So I'm really pulling all the colours together there. So that's the Simi Skirt by Tammy Handmade. that is everything for the plans that I have. Now, I have quite an extensive amount there that I've discussed with you. And like I said, there will be other things that come along that I really want to make that are brand new patterns. Like, for example, Sew Over It released their new ebook on Friday, and I am obsessed with it. I had to buy it straight away. There are patterns in there that I really, really, really want to make. I also want to find a couple of jacket patterns that I really like, and they'll be to come, and I'll share with you at a later date. So I hope you enjoyed watching today's vlog. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and that like button if you want to see more from me. And then you can follow how these makes go, because I will be sharing reviews on some of the patterns that I haven't made before, as well as sharing in my weekly vlogs on what I've been up to and what I have been making recently. So thanks for taking the time to watch me today. I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I will catch you all soon. Bye.